I'm good. I don't want any.
Nah, I'm okay.
I'll be 31 on the
Y
15th. Hell yeah.
Nice,
Yo.
nice.
How do you
He said it,
echo
not
so
me.
much? Like, I don't want to repeat every 20 times a stream. God dang, honey. Get your shit together, lady. The femboy VTuber predator. That's because you didn't shower me on my half birthday. We're watching this now.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody
Hmm.
breaks the law on my watch!
Happy half birthday dear Lifu Ausrufezeichen Doppelpunkt
Thank you for the
unterstrich
support,
celebrate
Moose.
Doppelpunkt unterstrich celebrate.
Not good enough. Thank you so much for the support moves. 1, 2, 3, go!
So it's been a while since we've talked about a certain topic. A topic that some of you within communities like War Thunder, Warframe, and probably VR Chat can't stop talking about. And no, the topic has nothing to do with how lonely you are and the fact you've dedicated thousands of hours grinding these games to take your mind off that crushing loneliness. Yes, the nice looking frame, the top tier tank, the trusted user status, and the permanent brown stain on your decade-old
What?
office chair was
Oh.
all worth the countless hours you've sunk into these games.
Is that what people do these days? They play and shit on the chairs? Is that a thing?
You saw South Park.
Ew, they at least pooped in the bucket.
I like it in here. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
What the hell?
Those hours probably could have been
Okay.
better spent, I don't know, with the amount you've put in, probably getting a doctorate in some field, or putting time into learning a skill that would actually benefit you apart from screaming slurs down your microphone when your game doesn't go the way you want it to, or maybe you could have even
Just like watching a Goons or a Vanos video.
True.
started looking in the mirror and evaluating where everything went wrong and building a plan to improve your life going forward. But no, that actually requires commitment and you'd probably prefer putting another 1,000 hours into your game of choice.
Yes.
But anyway, hypocrisy to the side, the topic I was referring to at the start
He had over 3K hours in VR chat.
Yeah, he does. He
This
does.
hedgehog has no leg to stand on.
of the video that most of the people within these
I know he's a fucking bird, but to me, he's a hedgehog. No matter how much he tries to gaslight me that he's a bird, he's a freaking hedgehog.
communities can't stop talking about, and something I haven't talked about in a while, is femboys.
Where are your fingers?
In my butt right now.
Why?
But what?
Bro, you cannot just... You know, I give up.
Why?
Yes.
Why? Because they fit better in there.
Your fingers fit better.
If you don't know what a
What
femboy is, I'm
the
not
hell?
going to bother educating
That's
you, but I will
crazy.
say you've either been granted divine protection from God himself, or you've never interacted with communities related to fairies, aircrafts, tanks, or guns, because for some reason they are always hyper-concentrated in these areas, especially the latter group. They commonly know everything there is to know about guns, history, and they are almost always heavily armed. However,
Okay, all of you who are into history and guns, you're femboys. I don't make the rules. It just is what it is. You might as well embrace it.
Yep, embrace it now.
joke and slander to the side, there's nothing really inherently wrong with being a femboy. Yes, there's a lot of stereotypes, but I've already talked about that before, and I'm not going to talk about it again. Ultimately, you do you, and it's a mandatory decision all guys that are below 5'5" have to come to terms with. But anyway, why have I been yapping about femboys for around 2 minutes now? Well, it was supposed to be a gentle introduction to the topic of today's video, as the person we're going to be talking about not only was one, but they also classified as another one of your favorite interests, a VTuber.
Ew,
Yes,
a VTuber. Ew, disgusting.
Ew.
Ew, imagine watching VTuber. That is so disgusting.
Wait a minute.
I said what I said.
Wait a minute.
I said what I said.
This is a terrible day for those unemployed and anybody a part of both of these communities, but it's not like this one person represents either of these communities, because if that was a thing, most Minecraft YouTubers would be in jail. But the person I'm talking about today is someone that, to say the least, has done some very disgusting, disturbing things, and most of their activity has been well documented to the point where it's been claimed they have over 10 victims and counting, because from what I've seen, they are still somewhat active on the internet, despite the gravity of the claims against them, and most of the people aware of their existence constantly shitting on them and reminding them of their accusations no matter what they post. On top of the fact they apparently...
Oh, you shouldn't be bragging that 14 is a legal age here, bro. What law am I breaking? Bro, you shouldn't be bragging about that.
Kind of weird.
even admit to some of the claims levied against them sometimes. But the person I'm referring to is the VTuber.
Bro, people side-eyeing even if like a 14-year-old is dating a 17-year-old. That's already weird, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because the stages of life you're at 14 and 17 is so vastly different. It's like, bro, I played with dolls until I was 16. Like, I don't know.
And so
14 is a kid.
Called God of Femboys, Picky, a streamer and content creator who was accused of being a predator with supposedly countless victims. But before we get into the allegations, we first need to know who Picky is and how they became known on the internet.
Inside you there are two wolves. One likes kissing boys, the other likes being kissed by boys. You are hella gay.
What the?
So Picky
What
is
just
a German
happened?
content creator that is said
Damn, okay.
to be around
Germans are about to catch massive strays here.
25 years
Oh, yeah.
old at the time of this video. They've been making content since at least 2021, although some have claimed they've been around since 2016. However, it's hard to tell since there's no archives of their earlier content, but what we do know is that they've gone under a lot of names since then, primarily because it seems like every time they get exposed for doing some deplorable shit, they will briefly try to defend themselves, which almost never works, and ultimately they just decide to delete everything and go to another account, or
What?
sometimes they just use the same
What?
account and just rename it. From what I can tell, they were originally known as Spook RL and then Pika RL, and when VTubing was becoming quite popular, he then became a femboy VTuber going by Picky, the name they're most
Yeah.
known by today. And then there were different variations of that name, like
Ugh.
Lord Pipsky, Picky Paw, Picky VT, Picky Silly, Picky RL, and many.
Oh, you know, you can go like the same route and literally have the same account and then all of a sudden decide to become a VTuber and still use the same account. Now that's just lazy.
Many other names down the line. One time he even tried to masquerade as another femboy VTuber who went by
Uh-huh.
the name Lion Chew, but
What?
that didn't last long as people quickly found out it was them. And in the current day, when their accounts aren't mass reported or taken down and they aren't being made fun of by everyone else, they often love to jump on bandwagons and throw fecal matter at others, acting like they're
Let's get this straight. AI admits to being Dr. Witnesser, real name present, might be the worst tweet ever created. What? I'm so confused.
What? That doesn't make sense.
their own shit doesn't smell, even though I'd even go as far as to say their allegations are 10 times as worse as anyone they've called out in the
Maybe this is a hot take and someone's gonna melt hearing this. I don't think you can be the moral harbinger and think you're morally superior over AI bros when you think 14 is legal.
Nope. Nope.
You're kind of worse. Like, what? Are we actually doing that? Like, I might go after kids, but at least I don't use AI. Like, shut the hell up.
past. But as said, Picky made their start around 2021 as first Spook RL, where they primarily played and streamed Rocket League.
It's like a leaderboard spot, you know. Like, I think tokens
Okay.
are kind of a good way to measure how much importance you have to the stream. That's kind of how much it like is.
They did claim in their channel's description around this time and under later usernames that they are apparently mentally handicapped to the point where they can't work anymore, and they apparently suffer from schizophrenia and stress-induced psychosis. But I couldn't find anything that can.
Bro, there's like so many VTubers who are like, oh, I cannot work. I have like mental issues. Like, bro, kind of jealous.
What do you mean you're kind of jealous?
No, because I have all these mental issues and I constantly have to work. So like, I don't want to sit around the whole day doing freaking nothing. Kind of jealous. Imagine getting money for doing nothing. I would probably go crazy, but but imagine.
Confirms that they have said conditions and disabilities apart from what they have said themselves, so take that with a grain of salt. They did initially stream with a face cam, but when they rebranded as Pika RL, they stopped doing this altogether, opting to just stream with their gameplay and voice. And when they streamed under this name, they averaged around 25 viewers per stream, with 17,000 followers on Twitch and over 10,000 on TikTok. One could say they were somewhat known in the Rocket League community down to their content at this time and how much they knew about the game. Some even said they were entertaining to watch. But any positive affirmations would be quickly overshadowed when the allegations began rolling in, with the first of many being in 2020, where a Twitter user going under the name Barksy Run would make a thread going into how Pika, under their former name Spook in 2019, was interacting with and talking explicitly to those underage.
Ew.
Yes, this is apparently a pattern of behavior Picky has been exhibiting for the last 7 years, and supposedly in the current day, nothing much has changed. Within the Twitter thread, Barksy shares DMs taken from multiple individuals they were acquainted with, showing multiple screenshots of Picky talking explicitly to these underage individuals, constantly asking them to reciprocate and send things like pictures to him, and he would also send very disgusting pictures to them as well. At some point, he even attempted to date one of the victims while supposedly being in a relationship with another person at that time, and with said victim, he'd threatened to do things like self-harm if they wouldn't talk.
Do these people know like you don't have to do all of that, right? Like you don't, oh my god. This is like, kind of want to say that no one's that unemployed.
This is kind of weird, man.
Oh dear
Not
god.
gonna lie.
Talk to him, and eventually the victim would respond by basically telling them to get their shit together. And you may be thinking, well, it doesn't get any more disgusting and pathetic from here, right? Yes. Yes, it does.
How much worse can it really get?
Bad.
Disgusting.
Actually gets significantly worse. There was an interaction where he potentially wanted to buy a jar full of one of their victims' fluids, even saying they would pay them around $200, of which the victim refuses. Yeah. Genuinely, this is degeneracy levels I've never seen before. I don't even think the Warhammer god Slanesh would fuck with this. And I personally think this person is eligible for a space in Guantanamo Bay with extra waterboarding with those messages. Like, what the fuck is that? Unfortunately, there was more messages to go through, but after posting this thread with all the evidence, despite not a lot of people seeing it, Picky, whilst under the name Spook, would actually respond to the allegations.
Boy ain't right. Yeah, the boy ain't right.
In their Discord at the time with an announcement. In the announcement, they basically admit to the allegations made in the Twitter thread and saying he's making an effort to change and improve himself, and adds being alone for a second.
I think a lot of people are gonna agree. There are things that once you cross them, that's irredeemable.
No, I agree with that.
Like, yes, there are like redeemable mistakes, but some of the mistakes are genuinely irredeemable. You cannot say shit like, "Oh, I'm gonna work on myself after you've done those." You cross that line. There's no redemption arc.
Yeah, it's kind of, you're kind of stamped with that kind of tag now.
Yeah.
Certain amount of time has led to so-called progressively escalating situations. Also saying there was no pictures that would get him or anyone else in trouble, but if we look back at the DMs, I'm pretty sure there's at least one picture that would land him under the jail and countless messages that incriminate them, but that's just my opinion. They continue to give the worst excuses, saying what happened just happened. They admit to being
What?
in the wrong before once again
What?
saying the main reason things like this escalated was because they don't have outside contact with people.
He went after kids because he doesn't have outside contact with people. What a load of crap.
What is he saying?
It's like me saying, oh, I beat Zen daily because I couldn't get chocolate chip cookies. Like, this is just so stupid.
And they
That's
don't
so dumb.
Yeah, it
have
is.
boundaries despite the fact they initiated most of these things and the victims were basically denying his advances. And the rest of the so-called apology, I guess, just looks like they're painting themselves as the victim. And he doesn't even do the bare minimum by apologizing to the victims. Instead, he just apologizes for inconveniencing people. But yeah, they were called out and admitted to what they did, so you would think that after being caught and having all of these deplorable messages leaked, they would actually, you know, at least learn from this experience like they said within their apology and never ever contact an underage person again, right? Well, Barksy a year later would once again make another thread regarding Picky and his behaviour, and they would provide more screenshots showing Picky doing what he did before and pushing people's boundaries despite in both situations being told multiple times to stop, and these people would tell him that they were already in a relationship and didn't want anything to do with him, with one clarifying he was not gay or interested in Picky, yet he was still insistent. And to my disgust and horror, he also watches XQC. This is most definitely not juicy behaviour.
You do a crime! You go to jail! You're not cancelled! You're a criminal!
PM.
Now I will say the ages of these
I mean, the Quebecan makes sense, you know? But yeah, even XQC is absolutely 100% right here.
individuals weren't specified, unlike the other thread, and they don't accuse him of talking to those underage again. So I think this time they were just accusing him of making people uncomfortable and making unsolicited advances, despite a year prior in his apology saying he wouldn't be doing that anymore. It's also said within the thread that Picky tried to lab that they were from Ukraine when the war had just started, even though he's
What?
Why would you lie about something like that?
Why would you do that?
That is so weird.
from Germany and he was only doing this so he could farm donations and sympathy, but he did get caught doing this and he would quickly change his title. He was even reported to Twitch, but they didn't really do anything to Picky for doing this. But with all that said, after being exposed for their predatory and deplorable activities on 2 separate occasions, Picky wouldn't face much backlash, primarily because they were a relatively small streamer around this time, and once again the call-out post with the evidence inside it didn't really get that much attention. So Picky, by the great
Bro, I wish I had so much conviction to try to get attention. No, like, think about it, right? Think about it. All the people who grow, right? They do some weird just to get attention and grow, right?
Right.
I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy for that.
Too much work, too much energy, guys. You guys don't understand.
Guys, help me figure out which lie should I spread about me just to get attention. Keep in mind, it has to make us grow too. What would be the best lie to spread? We are
That's
all terrible at this, man. We aren't built for this. Yeah, you guys are bad at this.
naivety was able to continue making content with little to no pushback, and later down the road things would only get worse. After the initial expose, they would then attempt to become a VTuber around 2022. They were still playing Rocket League, just this time with a VTuber model that looks like one of the main characters from the show Ruby.
Like, bro, I can do flicks that don't exist. I don't even... Guys, what was that? What is that flick called?
By 2023, they would eventually ditch the Pika RL name altogether, now going by the name we all know them as today, which is Picky, and the many variations of it. They also made an effort to distance themselves from their previous name by deleting a lot of their previous content, attempting to erase their past or make it seem like this Pika RL person has nothing to do with this new and up-and-coming streamer, Picky. But people like Technicals, who is a YouTuber who made a video on Picky quite recently and is how I found out about this, would find from things like their past usernames on Steam, this indeed was Pika RL, just now Picky. But if that isn't enough to convince you, you could also just compare their voices of their past videos compared to their new ones.
Like, I think tokens are kinda a good way to measure how much importance you have to the stream.
What?
You like boys,
What?
don't you? You like kissing them too. You are gay.
We are same, but different. But still
Oh
same.
my god.
They also around this time
What?
began heavily leaning into the femboy persona. They debuted their VTubing avatar, which was a femboy cat, and they labeled themselves the so-called God of Femboys. In addition to this, he renamed his Discord server that had apparently existed since 2020 to Picky's Femboy Hangout. Picky would actually make a lot of these servers, eventually renaming them or deleting them, and there was quite a lot of things happening in these servers. First, Picky would constantly beg for money because, as said before in their own words, due to his condition, he can't work, which is something he would also constantly talk about in the server, and for some reason, he'd also tell people that most of the money was being invested in toys, things that were not needed for his sustained living, despite complaining about how he was struggling. In some cases, if you wouldn't choose to support him in any way, he would just berate you and then straight up ban you. And past mods revealed that if you did choose to support him, sometimes you would get immunity in his server, even if you broke the rules. And unfortunately, in spite of all of this did result in him getting a significant amount of donations, around 2 grand at one point, mainly from his fans that are blissfully unaware of his activity, or are aware and just don't care. Secondly, he'd use these servers to vent and basically have meltdowns. Said server also had underage individuals in it, which Picky was seemingly aware of. These meltdowns also included the regular use of things like slurs, but guys, don't worry, Picky had a great excuse for this when it was later scrutinized, because Picky is in fact black. For
What?
those of you missing a part,
I am so freaking confused.
This person's using like slurs and using race like it's a Pokemon card.
Like, what?
of your frontal lobe, Picky was not black.
Yeah,
Once again,
I mean, we kind of can see it. There's a little bit of melanin deficiency happening there. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
What?
Once again, all of this was happening in a server where underage individuals were present and could see a lot of these interactions, leading to the third thing that was happening, which was Picky once more interacting explicitly with those underage. At one point, his own mod team was telling him to stop doing this after he was caught doing it in general, which also included one of his fellow mod sisters. And when he was confronted with this information, and when most of the mod team turned on him, he would just ban most of them and use his signature excuse. With all of this said, Picky was still able to get away with most of their actions. They still had a large Discord server with people that were willfully ignorant or blindly supporting them, and they were able to continue making
Bro,
content.
absolutely. I will say this. Please do not blindly support people, even us. Never blindly support people, especially content creators. Absolutely never blindly support a content creator. You don't know what the hell they actually are about. You don't know what the hell they're actually doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Never blindly support content creators.
Never do that, guys. It's not a smart thing to do.
I don't support anyone unless they become homies. I mean, I'm just saying. I just want you guys to be safe, you know?
Yeah.
If you can take my cookies from my dead cold hands. I mean, don't threaten me when I go time. I'm just saying. Who else is on the cookie list? I don't know. I didn't check. Anyway, I'm gonna just move on because I don't have anything to say about it. At least not nice.
Content. He even made a new femboy voice acting channel around that time. This was primarily because, as I said, nobody had really taken notice of the behavior around that time. But in mid to late 2024, they would finally begin getting the attention they deserved.
I saw your search history. Hands behind your back. Perf.
What?
In August of
What?
2024, the first of many videos would be made about Picky and their
Yeah.
activities. The video was made by Celestius, a YouTuber that was known for content surrounding exposing predators on the internet and mainly on games like VR Chat, which is really surprising since
Yo, there's so many VR channels exposing PDFs. It's crazy.
I believe it, honestly.
I thought it was just edited version of our first stream. Oh yeah. Get this. It gets even worse. The footage they're using for the Disney show is from her streams.
No.
Yes. Like at some point, read the room. You know?
Dude, what?
It gets just worse and worse and worse.
VR Chat is the last place you would expect predators to be. It's such a wholesome and safe platform. That was sarcasm, by the way, for those of you that have a room picture IQ. Now, it is important to note
called
that
out.
Celestius, the person that uploaded this series of videos on Picky and brought attention to the situation, would have allegations of their own, leading them to stop uploading. And later on, Picky would use this as a point to prove they never did anything wrong, but regardless of what Picky says, the information present within these videos does still stand. Just so you know. The first video Celestius made would get over 100,000 views, mainly going over the claims made in Barksy's Twitter thread and some of the activity in Picky's Discord server. This video would get so much attention that Picky would actually respond to it through a 3-minute video reacting to his expose, where he basically says everything is false, he has no association with this spook RL person, and he is indeed black. But most of his excuses were provably false, and it was just cope at that point.
Oh, it can get worse. Like, you called me white even though I'm black? Is you fucking whitewashing me? I think that's like the tip of the iceberg.
Cope.
What did I just hear? What the heck did I just hear?
A white guy just got mad that he's being whitewashed. Okay, now I've seen everything.
Wow.
I've seen everything. There's no point doing any of this anymore. Like, I've seen it all. Bye. It's like, I've seen it all now. Like, that's crazy. I don't even know what to say anymore.
I don't know. What what?
I guess her DEI score outweigh. No. The DEI score does not apply to Asians because they're too white adjacent. So it doesn't apply to them. Also, name a single content creator, streamer, or something who, when they went mainstream and actually worked out for them and they did not get absolutely destroyed, and name a single one. Unless she's just trying to get the bag and retire soon.
More people were talking about Picky and his predatory behavior now, and many more videos would be made. And as a result of this, more victims that had interacted with Picky in the past started to come out with their stories. In January of 2025, an entire Google Drive was made archiving most of Picky's predatory behavior, including the receipts and accounts from 14 of his victims. The screenshots in this drive stretched all the way back to when he went under the name Spook, all the way to his latest name, Picky, when he was already in his early to mid-20s. Now, some of the screenshots within the drive, like Technical said in his video, were missing context, like people's ages, so you can't for definite say all of these people were underage. But from the ones where the context is given, you can see the interactions he had with those underage in his server to private DMs. One victim called 1A in the Google Drive shared screenshots of him sending...
We upgraded from a Google Doc to a Google Drive. That's how you know shit is serious. It's no longer Google Docky. It's a Google Drive. It's a Google Broom Broom.
Some very disturbing messages and even sending a picture of his toys to this person.
Ew.
They even provided an interview with 1A going into how they found Picky's YouTube channel, joined their Discord, and Picky seemed very interested upon hearing they were a girl, despite their age, and then started messaging them.
I saw him on YouTube. I saw his channel and I was like, oh, he looks like a cool creator. I also just liked his voice, to be honest. That's literally the only good thing about him, was his accent. Sorry, I'm rambling. But I joined a server And then we just started messaging one day. I met him in voice chat. He found out I was a girl, and then just started DMing me, you know? And he'd be like, "Can you please call?" And I'm like, okay, in a second. Then he would shit and fuck. Yeah, so that and a bunch of
What?
other things you should not say to a minor. How do you feel about him denying everything to this day, despite you sharing your story? It pisses me off. I'm not even gonna lie. It pisses me off so greatly that he thinks he's indestructible and can get away with anything he feels.
Picky's common defense around this time was that the videos about him were all wrong. Once again, he's black, so they aren't the person everybody's talking about, and the only reason it shows from the account history that he used to be this person was because he actually bought his account from that person. Yes, he bought his
What?
account and servers from a known pedophile, which if we do give him the
What?
benefit of the doubt, still does not explain how they not only sound the same, but how there are now allegations being levied against his new name.
It's just a bunch of bullshit, and he kind of just repeats the same points he made before. That I'm this other creator, even though I like bought the server I'm on and like all the socials, and I had a burner account for like ages. Oh yeah, I'm the Chris Hansen of YouTube and keeping people safe. Like your public image is bad. Like, of course you're not gonna cancel me. You have a bad public image.
You're not cancelled! You're a criminal!
Wait, I have a
I need that clip. I need a clip of XQC screaming, "You're not cancelled, you're a criminal." Does anyone know how to get it? If any of you knows how to get it, can you please post it in the clips text channel on Discord? I'm gonna download it right away. I'm gonna start responding with those. Holy shit, that clip goes hard.
Yo, he was cooking with that one.
unrelated question that we didn't touch on. Are you black or white, Picky?
I'm black. I don't like saying this though.
Okay, I've heard that you
I
were
don't.
white, and there's
I'm gonna be
pictures.
called.
posted
I'm
of
gonna
you
be
white.
called such a larper. People call
You
me a
don't like
fucking
saying
larper.
you don't like people knowing that you're black. It's kind of an odd statement.
Yeah,
to make.
because it doesn't fit my narrative. No.
Picky, after all of the documents and expose videos, would
What? What narrative are you running?
This is pretty crazy, not gonna lie. This is actually pretty crazy. I have no words. Oh my, why? Why does he want people to see him as black though?
That's so weird.
That is such a weird thing to lie about because people can see his face. Or is he like one of those people who's like, I am trans black? There is a thing like that where like people are like changing their race. I think that's what they literally call themselves, like trans black or trans Asian.
That's so bizarre to me. Like you're LARPing as a different race.
Yeah, it's so freaking weird.
would seemingly stop streaming around this time, but he would still upload to his femboy voice acting channel, and he
What?
did still somewhat have a community supporting him. Around 2026, Picky would begin leaning into rage bait to get attention, mainly posting things he knew would farm some engagement because at the time they weren't streaming, and the support they were seeing, whilst yes, still was significant, it was a lot less than what they were used to seeing in previous years, so they probably resorted to rage baiting to make up for that, which is something they bragged about quite a lot.
I mean, the thing is, I think I said this before, I make money off of rage baiting people on Twitter.
But eventually most
Bro, none of it is worth it though. Like, why would you want to be perceived like that? Or
Yeah.
I don't know. Like a couple of cents here and there. It's not worth it. What are these people doing?
Most of their rage bait posts on Twitter would just get hit with community notes telling
There you
everyone
go.
they were
When they're community noted, you don't earn from them.
a pedophile, and with community notes, in some cases, it actually prevents you from making money, so the rage bait eventually became a thing they would do a lot less. In May of the same year, they also attended an interview with a YouTuber known as Ergblar, I guess in an attempt to clear his name, but
Okay.
all he did was tell the same
Alright.
story that Spook was not him, he bought the account, and every time something was brought up that would contradict his story, he would just deflect and ramble about something else.
Are you the person that was involved with these accusations, like with the Spooks account or whatever, your Spooks RL or
No,
whatever?
that was not me. I buy accounts in bulk. And
So
for
you
example,
were
this
not the
account,
Spooks
if you
person?
check this, no, because if you check, for example, my current account is not even a year old.
So
I switch accounts
your
quite
Steam
frequently.
account though, he did show that it has like your old
Yes, because I bought
usernames
it.
and buying a jar, saying that they wanted them to send it to them in a jar, and
Mhm.
even saying they'd pay $200 for it. So you're saying you were
Mhm.
not associated with those allegations at
No,
all?
I am not associated with
Or asking you to provide
What
evidence
the
that
hell?
you bought your accounts, because I do agree
What?
that if you did buy the accounts, you should be able to prove that, right?
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't really mean that I should just show like my real fucking credit card and
Well, no,
all
not
the
that.
purchases
No, you
I've
can
done
censor
and
that.
the
I just
purchase
want to see a
history.
receipt.
And then I also need to verify that it's me, but it's not under my picky name or whatever. So I need to like this is like such a multi-stage verification process where
This
I would
is
have
so
to go
much
first have to
yap for
prove it.
saying you don't want to show the actual proof to show that you bought these accounts.
Just ask me.
Because you
Are you
didn't buy
asking me to
them.
dox
You're
myself before this
What
happened?
the-
What?
Stop getting sidetracked and get to the fucking point. You still haven't provided any receipts to prove any of your claims.
What about your line chew count?
Since why is this just about me? I just came here for a Silas Gear interview. This is like a brand new account. This is like a couple months old account I'm currently using.
Is he?
What the?
Does he think he's like helping himself by saying it's a brand new account? I don't understand the thought process behind this man. Like, what's the thought process? Ooh, I bought the account that was absolutely 100% not me, but I have no proof that I bought the account. Also, there are videos of me showing my face, but at the same time, I'm a black man. What? And then he goes on and says, "Oh, I also made a new account."
What the hell, dude?
And also the account he claimed that he bought the account before the timing of him saying that he bought the account, the username history shows that it's his old usernames there too. My brain.
So what happened to your last account?
I got banned.
Why?
And what got you banned?
Uh-huh.
Do you actually know what I
Right.
do?
So nothing he did within the
Do you actually know what I do? He was asked why it was banned. And okay.
interview actually helped his image. If anything, it made it worse. And towards the end, I think they just gave up after they realized he's just going to keep deflecting and probably lying. So they just started making fun of him, calling him a poopy boy and a pee-pee liker because that's what he was asking his victims for.
About having a piss king on
You're
his
a
Twitter.
poopy boy, picky poopy. You probably picky up
I have
the
a
diaper.
question. I have
the
a
poop in it.
question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This is so weird. This is so uncomfortable.
I know, dude.
Holy
You fucking poopy boy.
Why are you laughing at this?
No.
Can I actually ask? Why are you laughing?
It's funny. It's embarrassing, Picky. That's fucking disgusting. You're a poopy boy, Picky.
I'm gonna be honest. I know a lot of us are thinking this right now. So we have Picky giving German VTubers a bad luck, and we have Nyara giving German VTubers a bad luck. This is not a good. This is not a good look. Like, by the way, I absolutely do not blame German VTubers. Like, just because of these two people. This
What we're saying is that these those two VTubers has brought back the scene like 10 million years behind.
that's rough, man.
All right, it's just own it.
Okay, it's weird.
Poopy boy. All right, go
So
ahead, Ed. I'm
weird.
sorry.
At this point, there was nothing Picky could do to save his reputation, and it was about to get a whole lot worse for him in June of the same year. Because as said, the YouTuber Technicals did a video on him that became the most viewed video on the topic and brought even more attention to the things he had done. And this video would catch the attention of another popular YouTuber known as Schlepp, who is most known for his predator catches and speaking out against the Roblox platform. And this would lead to a series of events that, to say the least, was not good for Picky at all. This would start
Yeah,
when
believe
Picky
it.
would make a post claiming they had outlived yet another predator hunter due to the whole Gideon McDonald's incident, and Schlepp would see this and respond with a clip from Technical.
Oh yeah, one of the predator hunters, he got charged. Gideon.
Charged with?
You know, I'm still a little confused. There was like a McDonald's incident where they were like harassing like a relative. But that relative was taking advantage of an elderly. and like, so that relative, he like reported them to the police, so they got charged with like harassment. It was so weird.
Okay.
Yeah. But like when JDM was getting like arrested, right? He said some dumb shit too, like, "Do you know who I am?"
Oh my god.
No, and like everyone collectively went like, "JDM, shut up!" Like, bruh, that one, yeah.
You're cooked, dude.
And basically, child endangerment. He used child fans to harass the man in McDonald's. I watched the whole video. Okay, he didn't use fans to harass the man at McDonald's. He gave them his multi-thousand equipment to go and record it, not
That's
harass him.
wild.
But like literally 1 minute into him giving them his equipment, they got arrested right away as well for trespassing. Which, by the way, yeah, that part didn't make sense because they had nothing to deal with it. Why were those teenagers arrested? That's a whole different can of worms. So yeah, that whole thing was so messy.
Video of the interview with one of Picky's victims, and from there Schlepp would make multiple other tweets bringing attention not only to Technical's video but also to the fact Picky was a predator, and still had multiple platforms where they were monetized and receiving donations. With this attention, slowly but surely Picky's accounts on multiple platforms would begin to be taken down. First, one of his Twitter accounts was suspended, his Roblox account would soon follow, and probably the most significant was the removal of his Ko-fi page where his community was sending him donations. On YouTube around this time, their account was suddenly wiped, but another has now taken its place.
What?
His link tree that was supposed to show all of his socials was apparently taken over, where it now only displays a link to the video from Technicals. One of his many Discord servers would be deleted or taken down, which was shortly confirmed by no text-to-speech. But unfortunately, his main server with over 30,000 members still does exist. On the bright side of things, a lot more people now know about Picky and what they did. He's also lost a big chunk of his income sources, meaning it's going to be harder for him to make any income at all from his usual shenanigans. And obviously the
I thought he's like his main income was the state benefits, the government benefits. I thought that's where his income is coming from.
No, I'm sure it was donation. Because, like, we know how lucrative the femboy business is in VTubing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah.
best outcome would be Picky being prosecuted. There have been multiple online reports made against him, so something hopefully will happen soon. And he's probably just going to keep making alt accounts spreading the same message that
I mean, yeah, as long as people donate here, I guess I won't at least starve to death. What?
He's guilt tripping people.
Yeah.
he's innocent and begging for money. But thanks to a few videos and people, it's nowhere as easy as it was around 2023 for Picky to do this, and people are potentially much more aware if Picky attempts to contact them. Picky is a concerning individual to say the least. They've shown time and time again they will not change, and when confronted with the things they've done in the past, they will lie and deflect, only to then for some reason brag about it, which they've done in some cases. Personally, I don't think there is any helping this individual, as
Yeah, I
they
don't think so
themselves don't see
either.
anything wrong with what they are doing.
Yeah, no.
And they've demonstrated multiple times that they will continue to do these types of things. But all we can hope for is that the reports made against him will soon do something to finally stop him. But that's just something I wanted to talk about today. Please, for the love of God, could people stop suggesting for me to listen to Dommy Mommy ASMR? I would rather listen to someone scratching a chalkboard. But yeah, that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
Oh shit.
And rip you open like an overstuffed.
Oh my god!
Hey, yo, what the f
So
was
it's been a while
that?
since we talked about a certain topic.
Freaking Reggie.